Hey, Jordan, first of all, thank you for joining us. My first question is, you're a guy from Australian rugby. What makes you want to play football?
I was at a critical point in my life back home in Australia and just felt like I wasn't getting challenged or given the opportunity to kind of prove myself in the sport I was playing back home, back in rugby. And, my agent at the time knew someone that was part of this NFL program that kind of bridged the connection between other countries to try and grow the sport and influence people to watch the NFL and potentially learn the sport. Through that program, I ended up getting drafted by the Eagles from that program, so now I'm here.
That's pretty awesome. And you had your big debut, and I must tell you, I've watched the tape a couple of times. I was thoroughly impressed with your performance.
Oh, thanks, man.
Give us your assessment of your play in the run game as well as in the passing game. Give us a little bit of your assessment of your play.
Mate, after watching the game on the flight back home, I can say that I did some good things and also did some pretty bad things on the technical side. Like just cleaning up my footwork and hand placement on run drills and even pass blocking. There's a few times where I got caught punching. Just a couple things like that, just the hand placement and footwork that I needed to clean up. Well, overall, I was pretty proud of the way I played, but I knew that, watching the flight on the way home, it wasn't going to be perfect. As long as I gave it everything I had on each play, because that's how I focused. Each play was 4 seconds, focused for 4 seconds. But again, really hard on myself, so technique-wise, I just had to clean it up.
Man, how hard can you be? 2.5 years ago, you didn't even know how to put the gear on. You'd never worn a football uniform. And so now you're starting on the biggest regular season stage, Sunday Night Football. Tell me about the nerves. You find out the day before the game that you're going to be a starter. Tell me about the nerves going into that game.
The nerves only hit me, and I don't really call it nerves. I just call it, let's call it jitters, because I wasn't nervous. It was just antsy, I just want to get the first play out of the way so I can get into the rhythm and feel comfortable at my spot. So really, when I found out the day before, I really wasn't nervous. I was just like, okay, this is cool. Finally, my time has come, and hopefully I step up.
I noticed just watching you over the past couple of years that, and especially last year, you've been anxious because you felt like you could add to this football team. On that big stage, Sunday Night Football, did you even think about the millions of people that are watching you, not just here, but abroad?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I've been here 2.5 years, and I still didn't realize how big Sunday Night Football really was. So I didn't realize how big of a spectacle it was. Trying to focus in on every play. I didn't really think about who was watching. It's the last thing that was on my mind. Actually, in fact, it wasn't on my mind at all.
The ultimate is to win the Super Bowl, help this team to win the Super Bowl. But when you think about it on a personal level, what do you want to accomplish in this game on a personal level?
The first goal that I had, that I accomplished this year, was to start a game. It's funny that you brought it up, because I was just thinking about this on the flight back home. I was thinking about what my next goal would be. And I think it's just to cement my legacy as the dude who went from a rugby player to a football player. I think that's my next goal, to try and be more consistent on plays, every play, to be more effective for my team and win a Super Bowl, essentially.
Jordan, that's awesome. That's an awesome answer. And when I think about that, I think now there's tape on you. You're going to face the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now teams and opponents will know a little bit about Jordan Mailata. Does that make it more difficult, more interesting for you?
I don't think it makes it difficult. I think it's great. I think anytime you can put film out there, you have to capitalize on every moment, every rep that you get in the game. I think you should give it your all and put it out there. And whatever happens, happens. I'm a big believer in that. Whatever happens, happens for a reason.
You're going to face one of the number one defenses in all of football. Stephen Tuitt, Dupree, T.J. Watt, all of these names are going to be coming at you. What is it that makes that defense of the Steelers so good?
I think just the way they play, technique-wise, really good at running stunts. Watching the film this week, individually, they're all a threat. And when you combine them in stunts, it makes it even harder. So that's one thing that we've been working on this week, is trying to perfect our passing off the stunts and really expecting what to do when we're man on man.
When they're running those stunts, they got the TE and the ET stunt where they're crossing in front of you. And I noticed how good your footwork is when you're passing those guys off. How did you come about that?
That's a coached out. All all the credit goes to Coach Stout. He makes sure that we are on the perfect set lines. And what he means by that, me and the guard, if we have the perfect relationship when we're setting off the line, we're able to pass up the stunts. It goes back to technique again, the technique details that I was talking about. I'm trying to fine-tune those and make sure that I'm on spot this week. So, yeah, all the credit goes to Coach Stout when it comes to passing off stunts, just because of how disciplined he is on when he coaches us and on the perfect set line to try and pass off those stunts.
Jordan, I think you've got a great start to your professional football career, and we look forward to a lot more. Best of luck to you
Thanks,
out of
mate.
Pittsburgh.
Appreciate that. Thanks, mate.